And for this episode of Master Lukey Mondays, we'll be touching on UFC 318, Usyk Dubois 2, and Manny Pacquiao's most recent fight, and also the new upcoming Mortal Kombat movie and the franchise itself. So please stick around for another episode of Master Lukey Mondays, and you're watching For the Lads. And we're back for another episode of Master Lukey's Monday. And like always, brother, it's a pleasure to have you on, man. And this
I'm
episode,
honored.
we're gonna kick it off with a few fan questions that I have here for you, brother.
Right on.
Some of them,
We got fans.
yeah, some of them are better than others, but this is the first one. So, what do you think of K-pop?
Well, first of all, let me say thank you to the fans. It's been a while since I had fans. I've been having a lot of haters and trolls lately, but it's cool to have fans again.
It's still out there, brother.
Hey, cheers. Cheers to all the fans out there. K-pop. Um, it seems very manufactured, and the thing with music, it's like resonance, frequency, and I think that with K-pop and then a lot of the mainstream tunes, they try to establish, because you're dealing with millions and billions of dollars here, so they're not just leaving it up to chance, throwing shit against the wall, hoping it sticks or whatever.
Yeah.
They have these formulas. They have, they used to call it magic, and they used to people used to think they would do these black magic spells and come up with these evil frequencies, but it's actually math. And so they have specific formulas to basically. You ever want to hear a song over and over and over again?
Yeah,
And I do that.
stuck in your head and that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they sort of cast people for stuff like that. So they create the band and then cast people for slots for that band. I mean, each to their own. Like I was saying last weekend about the Star Wars and all that. If someone else, obviously, there's people out there that love it and good for them. But
yeah.
So yeah.
So with the K-pop and the music, I think what they do is they find a range of a frequency that's gonna appeal to the most amount of people. And it doesn't even mean that it's going to be the best song.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a long-lasting epic song that you hear for decades or whatever. But they're just thinking, okay, so it's almost like a product.
Yeah.
Like with the pharmaceutical companies, they go, okay, we're going to make this much money. This many people are going to have bad side effects. We're going to get sued for this much money. But then at the end, we're still going to come out with this much profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think, like you said, it's very manufactured. Like the artists, they're just performers.
Yeah.
They don't write a single word. And who knows if they're even performing or just dancing over with the music playing. But I tell you, I like Korea.
or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, shoot, these people, the fans, they're gonna complain if the singer isn't singing as good as he sounded on the record. So it's like even you maybe even want to play a record, and it's like I see these some performers, they'll sing over the record. So if they don't, if they need to take a break or something, the fans will still hear the thing.
Yeah.
But I love Korean culture. I love Korean food, and shoot, if I was in Korea, I would definitely go to see a K-pop concert and want to be one with the crowd.
Korean women,
Korean,
I've married
everything.
a Filipino, so brother, I got what you call yellow fever. So
I used to work with a Taekwondo master, and he was Filipino.
Yeah.
But he was a black belt in Taekwondo and Shotokan. and he had some funny bits. He used to go over the difference between like dating, seeing somebody, talking to someone, seeing them, dating them, exclusive, and there's like all these levels of dating, and then he had this level of how the Asians view each other,
Yeah.
and always the Koreans and the Japanese think they're better than everybody else, followed by the Chinese,
Yeah.
and they all look down on the Filipinos because they're not purebred or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
A bit of
They're Southeast Asian and
Spanish.
they're Asian. Yeah. Yeah. No, that is true. That is
But
very
it
true.
seems like the best looking people are all mixed.
Yeah.
They're
100%. The
mixed like
most
Halle
attractive
Berry.
women, I think, are half Asian. Even the Blasians. There's some pretty hot Blasians. Yeah, Ben's over there nodding. Yeah, there's some hot Blasians. I think probably the half white, half Asians are some of the nicest, but you see some damn fine Blasians. My wife's not here at the moment. She probably won't watch
Okay,
anyway, so I'm in the clear.
okay, there you go.
But we'll move on to the next ones.
Uh,
We just got one here. Hi, Luke. And then uh, I always thought it was cool how the season ended up. You were picked first versus last picked. I also remember seeing Luke punch a guy so hard he forgot who he was. How does Luke feel like his experience on the show differed from how it was represented on television?
okay. Yeah. So speaking of manufactured, they they had producers, which was not a script writer, but they put together the way that the show was aired. So depending on what significant events happened either in the training or in the house, they would ask specific questions in the confessional
Yeah.
to, they get the soundbite. They
Yes. Yeah.
like when you watch the embeddeds, or they don't do it so much anymore, but remember like the on the older UFCs, they would have the fight. Then actually, I think they still do it. They have like the fighter just like from the neck up, and they're introducing him before the fight, before he comes out, and he goes something like, "Oh yeah, Johnny's a great fighter. I'm expecting a war," and it's like a soundbite. They ask you like 10 different questions, and they only pick one
Mm.
short little clip,
Yeah.
that they think is the best thing. So that's basically the same thing. When we went into the confessional, we were in blocks. We had specific time that we would go in. Like my appointment was at 3:30, and I was there until from 3:30 to 4.
Mm.
We went in. We said they asked us a string of questions, and then almost none of them made it to air.
Yeah.
But they got out of that what they needed, and
Yeah.
oftentimes it was leading
They're
questions.
looking to build a narrative.
Exactly. And maybe more so these days. I don't know. Back then, I feel like it was kind of the beginning stages of reality TV. We had Survivor.
Mm.
Remember Survivor?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Brother, and then this was kind of like
Yeah.
on
We had all that over
in
here.
those days, and yeah, I think they didn't have as much of a hand in the narrative as maybe they do now.
Mm.
But I would say it was pretty fairly representative of what actually happened. I believe I was picked because of Matt Sarah, my coach's influence,
Mm.
and they tried to picture me in a certain way as like the new Diego, whatever, because I was weird, and I think also a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. I think there's a lot of worked matches that we don't know about. I think I was also protected because I was the last fight of the welterweights, and there were guys that fought like that could have beat me.
Mm.
So like I think I got the easiest. With all due respect, I
Mm.
think I got the easiest fight in my first fight against Anthony, whatever his last name was, from Hawaii. He was a good jiu-jitsu guy,
Mm.
but very poor striking.
Mm.
Whereas
He was
some of
kind
the
of
other guys,
tailor-made for you.
pretty much, like what was the first fight? Melvin Gillard
Mm.
versus
He was
Josh
a
Berkman, I
beast.
think.
Yeah, both were really
What was
good.
it? It might
Melvin
have been
Gillard
Melvin
and Josh.
Gillard versus Joe Stevenson. Both those guys were fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous. Um,
Melvin's one that, and like he had a good career, and I'm not putting him down, but his career probably didn't go as well as a lot of people thought he was gonna, as well as a lot of people thought he was gonna do, because he
mm,
had tons of talent,
mhm.
but and apparently always like the best guy in the gym, and um, but yeah, it didn't really go the way a lot of people thought it would.
He probably had some tough matchups. He's like,
Yeah,
unfortunately, I might be out of my lane here, but I think at that time there was potentially some prejudice against darker skin colors. If you look at Rashad Evans,
yeah.
he's the only guy who had to fight 3 times on the show to get to the semifinals.
Mm.
They threw everybody. I don't know if it was Matt Hughes or somebody else. They threw everybody at him
Yeah.
to try to get him out of there. But yeah, it probably is actually not so much racism as it is marketing,
Yeah.
because they have, especially now with the WMG in charge, they got formulas on every fighter. They know they have a rating. This fighter is going to, rated this for popularity, for marketability,
Mm.
yada yada yada. How much they think they're gonna bring in revenue wise. And Melvin, he had a little lisp. He wasn't necessarily good looking, but he was good.
Mm.
He could have ruined some fighters that maybe they thought did have marketability.
I think they
So
gave
they
him.
gave him only tough
I
fights.
think they gave him opportunities in the UFC, but every time
Right.
he was like just there, just about to get his shot, like he'd fall short. And again, I'm not picking on the guy. He's obviously really good, but I don't know. He just lost some fights that I think maybe he should have won. But that's just my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you had thinking back about it. You had fucking Murderers Row on your season. You had a lot of good fighters.
Yeah,
You know.
Marcus Davis.
Mm.
Melvin, I sparred once. Uh, he said he hated sparring tall guys like me because I just kept trying to front kick him away.
Mm.
But he did get in. I remember he clocked me good one time.
Mm.
Who else was there? Berkman, Stevenson. Um, Melvin Gillard had like 40 something fights before he got into the Ultimate Fighter.
Mm.
Sammy the Squeeze, the guy I fought in the semifinals, he had just, I think, knocked out Jens Pulver or something, or
Jeez.
he had some big win.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
'05 as
back
well, like Jens Pulver was still up there, in 2005. Yeah, that's oh, man. I need to really go back and do my homework and remember all the guys' names because I used to be able to rattle them all off, but I know who you mean.
right.
Um, but yeah, so I'll move on to the next question. Oh, actually, before we do you
Mhm.
remember hitting that guy so hard that you had knocked old mate out, and then
Yeah,
what was that like? Was that a scary one? Like you didn't know what was going on?
I think the fight they're talking about is Edilberto Crocota de Oliveira,
Yeah.
and I used to do this move. I mean, it's basically an overhand right, haymaker. But I would get so down low that the punch would come over, and the guy would follow his follow my head down,
Mm.
looking at me. So the punch comes outside of their eyesight.
Mm.
And if you look at the video, he gets clocked and he didn't get dropped, but he got like hit really good. And then he turns to look at the referee, Herb Dean, because Herb Dean is standing like right where the punch came from. 'Cause Herb was like kind of like behind me,
Mm.
and so my hand came like, and the guy, it looked like he thought Herb Dean punched him. He looked over, he's like, "What the hell?" And he didn't pick it up, because it's just out of his vision. So
Yeah.
I did it again, and the second time I think I dropped him even worse. But Adilberto Crocota, he used to do this thing like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh shit, he's a crocodile." I'm like, I gotta watch out for the anaconda choke. I used to get freaked out for fights. But then I find out after that Crocota is the name of a dance that they do in rural Brazil. Like
Mm.
this guy's from the farmlands, dancing around a fire, pretending to be different animals, chickens, horses. And here I was thinking I'm going up against a human crocodile. It turns out I'm going up against a little farm boy who learned some jujitsu or something. But I kind of felt bad after that. This guy, he just was coming up out of the mud.
Yeah. And you put him back in there by the sounds of it.
I think he fought again after that a couple more times. UFC, they just chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
These guys, they don't realize it.
All right.
But
Um. So
I
I
got in
have.
trouble after that one because I made a comment about Brazilian bacteria or something because Matt Serra said that he went to Brazil to train
Yeah.
or to fight or something, and he brought back some like super staph infection or something. So I made some comment about Brazil and like Brazilian skin infection, and I got these emails like how could you say that about Brazil? You don't know what you're talking about. So if anybody's from Brazil, I'm sorry. I have family down there, and when they came from Italy, some of them went to New York, some of them went to Sao Paulo.
Yeah. They thought you were doing the
So,
Chow Sonnen or something, eh?
right, yeah, yeah.
Trying to stir up some hate or something.
Oh man, look for the Kumos in Brazil. If you got any fans of Brazil, find them. Tell
So
them I said hi.
another one, he was just saying, so he's got two parts of his question. First part is, how much do you bench? Best ever
Hmm.
bench?
Best ever bench. I know for sure they didn't show it on the Ultimate Fighter. They only showed me doing the wall sit.
Yeah.
But they did on that evaluation day. They did have us doing the bench press, and I think it was just the bar.
Yeah.
And Marcus Davis, they stopped him. He did like 50 reps or some shit, something crazy. I could barely do anything. Maybe I did 10, 20.
Yeah, he looks like someone who lifts weights.
I don't barely lift weights. I'm not very strong. Um, I don't even know what I bench. I don't even do regular push-ups. I do like special push-ups where my hand's going down from my hip
Yeah.
up at an angle up over, so I'm trying to do more shoulders than chest.
Yeah.
I would say how much I could bench, maybe my body weight, if that, like 150, something light.
Sorry, once. Hey, Pink,
I'm
can
a
you close the phone?
skeek winny
I,
weak skinny vegan.
I reckon we could get you benching 200 pounds pretty quickly, brother. Just got to get you over here, man.
All right.
The
Can we
and
do it
next,
with dumbbells though?
yeah, for sure. It's
You know, do
probably
it the
better for your
Popeye.
shoulders. I mean, my shoulders
That's
munted
what I
from
heard.
benching, so. And he also put, lastly, I always really liked your blue wave shorts. So
Mm,
he's a fan of
definitely.
them shorts.
I told you the story when we made them, right? How I made them.
Yeah, that's
Saw
them
that a few
ones. Yeah.
times. Yeah, I got them around here somewhere. Thankfully, I didn't sell them. Somebody wanted to pay me 10 grand for them like
Ooh,
20, 15 years ago.
nice.
And when I turned it down, he started to insult me. He goes, "Oh, Italians are greedy." I'm like,
Mm.
bro, it's not that. It's sentimental value. I feel
Yeah.
like
No, definitely. Uh,
uh, I wanted to also mass produce them.
yeah.
We'll see. See what happens. I still have dreams.
Yeah, no, for sure, mate. We're gonna definitely make some of these happen, brother. Let's.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Yeah, I remember thinking it was cool that he made it to the finale. I was rooting for him. I don't remember him punching. Oh, so he's replying to that other guy. There was a really good one in here somewhere. Where is it? Me and technology, brother. I feel like I'm older than my age half the time, eh? I think that's what happens when you work too much.
If anybody in the comments of the video.
Uh, I got another one here. Does he still work with Matt Serra?
Uh, so 2010, 2009 was my last UFC fight.
Yeah.
2010, I got divorced. 2011, 11 I got divorced. Maybe it was 2011. She left with the kids, and I had the house, but couldn't pay for it.
Hmm.
So, no, I'm sorry. My memory's a little messed up about this time. But I, what happened first? No, I did get divorced first, 2011. Um, so 2012,
Hmm.
like my life's in shambles. I reach out to my teacher
Hmm.
for natural healing. I said, just kind of lost here, bro. He goes, all right, come out to California, train with me for a couple of weeks. I'm going to train you as an executive.
Hmm.
So in the 50s, 60s, 70s, they were learning about how you heard of like Dale Carnegie. Um, I can't off the top of my head. I can't think of him, but you see him on YouTube. Motivational speakers,
Hmm.
power of positive thinking, all this like technology of the brain and language.
Hmm.
Eventually, they started to systematize it
Hmm.
and then study it, and they started to do hypnotherapy, learning about hypnotherapy, and then actually how you could speak to yourself to become more successful. You know, p- power of positive thinking and self-talk, and then also how to speak to others and build a team and motivate your workers. And so guys like Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And so
Les
my
Brown. Les
teacher.
Brown's another really good one. Have you seen
Yep,
his stuff?
absolutely.
Yeah.
How he used to sleep in the office.
Yeah, that's right.
I was doing that in the gym. So my teacher trained me or started to train me in that, as well as give me a nutritional program for speeding up brain healing, having to do with the fats that the brain's built out of and stuff like that, healthy bacteria.
Yeah.
So I left end of November 2012, and I didn't get back until March 2013. I was gone for 4 months, and I did an Irish goodbye because because of the brain injury. By the way, I'm leaving Tuesday. I'm going to get enrolled in that study at the Cleveland Clinic in Las Vegas, the
Oh, true.
initial initial consult and test me up, and see my baseline, I guess.
Mm.
Um, so because of I guess the symptoms of mild brain injury, not only was getting divorced, but also kind of like isolating myself in the gym and not performing as much as I used to. Also, in the gym, it's like if you don't have a fight coming up, you kind of take a backseat to the guys who are fighting. And
Mm.
so, anyway, all my relations were affected. And so I did an Irish goodbye, which is another way of saying I just left New York. I also didn't know how long I was going to be gone. But then when I came back, I almost was like worse. It's like worse before it gets better type of thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't connect back in with anybody. I just stayed out of the gym, and this was the time when I got arrested, and everybody was thinking I was crazy. And there was also a situation with Matt Serra and his brother, and not that I took sides, but Matt kind of didn't want to be associated with me, I guess, or he had his own thing going on, his own troubles to deal with.
Yeah.
Now, a few, maybe 2 years ago or 1 year ago, I reached out to Matt. I was interested in connecting with him personally as an old training partner and friend and teacher, but also coming going back into the dojo. And what's up, Robbie? What do you need? You good? And I wanted to get fighters from all the different gyms, and Matt has a huge mat space and a cage. I thought maybe we'd be able to do something in there. But basically, he told me, if you come back, you have to come back just like a student, like everybody else, pay tuition and do the
Mm.
classes. And so I didn't end up doing it because it was too far anyway. I don't have a car, so he's an hour away by car.
Mm.
Who knows by train? No hard feelings. Just we always connected on that level of training and common interests like video games. Played video games together.
Mm.
But yeah, I think like friendships, they're built on these shared experiences.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
you and I, we have the podcast together. Matt and I, we don't really have much to do together anymore. So
Yeah.
not that we're not friends. It's just like we just don't
Time
talk to each
passed.
other.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's a shame. When you were thinking about going to train with him, was it you just wanted to get back into training and like just for health reasons, or were you thinking about competing? What was your main driver for thinking about going over there initially?
So kind of dug myself into a hole here, James. In 2013, when I got out of jail for violating an order of protection, the judge considered me making YouTube videos about my court case a violation of the order of protection because it was electronic communication.
Mm.
Um, the sheriffs called me. I was at a girlfriend's house, and they didn't know it. So they called me and they said, "You have to come in." I was in another county too, so they couldn't, I guess they couldn't come get me. And I thought to myself, there's no way I'm getting arrested for making a YouTube video.
Mm.
I refuse. So I kind of like went on the run, went to another state, yada yada. I was on the run for like 8 days.
But you didn't even really know you were on the run. You just thought, oh, this is bullshit. There's nothing really to this. But there was actually more to it than you initially realized.
I think I knew I was on the run. I'm not sure. I mean, it was my first time like that ever happening. So
Yeah.
I could claim a little bit of ignorance. But when I was in jail, my dad bailed me out, and he said, "I'll bail you out, but you have to live with me for 6 months. I'm gonna have you on a curfew. You have to tell me where you're going all the time." Blah blah blah. I was 33 years old, living in my parents' basement. I still kind of am. Oh my god. When I left my dad's, when in that transition period, I started training at one of Matt's other students' gyms,
Mm.
who you may remember he was on a subsequent season. His name was Joe Scarola.
The name rings a bell.
He was one of Matt Serra's black belts, and he had a gym, a dojo, an academy, jiu-jitsu academy, a few blocks away from my parents' house. So that's when I started to kind of like train again. And through like the circles of martial arts, I found a guy who had a gym, a karate school, tiny, up near where my sons live. So I started working up there and living there. He let me live in the office. It was at this point, I guess, where I decided that I was going all in
Mm.
on Master Lukey's League of Champions. And I don't want to blame YouTube, but there was many, many, many times when I would just wake up thinking to myself, "What the hell are you doing? This is such a far fetched idea that you could actually change the entire landscape of martial arts."
Mm.
And so I had to watch these YouTube videos of Les Brown talking about how he lived in the office, and people saying, don't have a plan B. Tony Robbins, burn the boats.
Mm.
So, 15 years later, James, and I'm basically still homeless, although my dad lets me live in this building here. Now, the idea has developed further because I've been working on it. I have the
Mm.
digital scoring system. I have the
Mm.
complete ranking system. I have rule books. I have the book that I'm writing that's coming along, working on it all the time.
Yeah.
But as far as like if I was going to go to Shark Tank or look for an investor, they're going to want to know, what's the ROI, or,
Mm. The rate of
what we're looking at
return.
here as far as
Yeah.
revenue, which is still zero. Now, it's hard for me to ask for help.
Mm.
And the few times when I did, I was either shot down, they said it's not a good idea, or the person wanted too much creative control. Like one guy, he wanted to make it a 20-point system
Mm.
because he's from the boxing world. His cousin's like a professional boxer, so he goes, "Oh no, 100 points too much." Another guy, as soon as he said, "Oh, I got some ideas," I I just turned around and walked away. Um, so I feel like what I was looking for when I reached out to Matt, because look, Matt's an amazing guy, amazing competitor, amazing coach.
Mm.
He's the best. Um, there is a thing though about the game evolving, and my coach. my most recent jiu-jitsu coach coached against Matt. Like one of my coach's students was fighting against one of Matt's students.
Mm.
And my coach now, he's like the new wave. The guys who followed Gordon Ryan, John Danaher,
Mm.
really, really
It's new generation.
looked at the details, the super fine details.
Yeah.
Like Hoist Gracie compared to somebody today is a world of difference. Just
Mm.
like all sports, just
Yeah.
because the science of it, the social media, people throwing ideas back and forth across the world. So I think when I was looking at training at Matt's again, it was more for like trying to go back home type of thing, trying to like get some type of stability where I felt like I had a team behind me again.
Yeah. You wanted to go back to a point in your life where you had some more stability and people around you that you know are dependable.
And that's, I guess, not feasible as an entrepreneur. You have to really be out there
Mm.
alone to start. I forgot who said it today. Maybe Addison Ray. She said something about it. You create the scene
Yeah.
and you bring the people that that resonate with you. They come to you. You have to be the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still, as hopeless as it seems, I still am clinging on to Master Lukey's League of Champions, especially because uh, I've invested so much and sacrificed so much.
Yeah.
Uh, for me to like just give up now, that would mean that the last 15 years of my life and all the sacrifice I made have been for nothing. And it's, I guess, the spirit of the samurai in me. I'd rather die than admit defeat like that,
Yeah.
for
I
better
mean,
or worse.
I think you've got to do it 100%. But then you got to be happy with the outcome. You know what I mean? Like whatever that may be. But I mean, you definitely got to do it. I think you've got to give it a go.
Mhm.
Yeah, we definitely got to make this happen. You got to get this going. You got to get your book organized. I got a few. I've been thinking a few things as well, and
Okay,
I
you're
reckon.
the best.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, you too. Like we're mates. I support you 100%. And if there's something in that, like we talked about it before, I think if there's something in the back of your mind that you want to do, you need to do it. And then, like I was saying last time, in life there's lessons, and sometimes it doesn't always go the way you want. Sometimes it does, but if there's something in the back of your mind saying you should give it a go, you need to see it through. And then, like I said, if it goes great, it goes great, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you sort it through, and then you can move on to the next thing, or keep going with it, depending on where it goes. But
Hmm.
I think for sure, I mean, you can't get to this point and then pack it up. You need to make something happen, and I back you 100%. We're gonna make it happen, mate. I support you, and you know, I
You're a
mean,
good
not
man.
that you need me to help you in any way, shape, or form, but I'm pretty stubborn, man. There's a reason I've worked 7 days a week for 3 years. It's because I'm stubborn. So if you're gonna have anyone backing you, without like going around patting myself on the back, but I'm a good person to have in your corner because
All right.
yeah, I'll make you see
Cheers to that.
it. Yeah, I'll make you see it through, brother, as a friend, mate. Uh,
Thank you so much.
no worries. Okay, here's another one. Here's mine. I remember you, Luke. Hope that helps for content. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Uh, okay, we'll skip on that one. Um, that was a really good one before, but for some reason, I just can't find it. But
Okay.
yeah, I think we covered them all. I think it was that first one there,
Oh,
the representation on television. I think that was the one that I was thinking
Mhm.
of. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Maybe we can get some more. We can do that each week. I
Yeah,
might
that's cool.
I might line up some giveaways. So we'll pick out the best question and send
Oh, right on.
like an autograph card. I've got like a whole heap of UFC cards, or we can do some giveaways and get
Oh,
some
nice.
people involved. But so we'll move on to UFC 318
All
and
right.
what you thought of the. For myself, I could only watch the main and co-main. How did you go?
All right.
Did you get a chance to watch them?
I didn't. I got the opportunity to spend some time with one of my sons last night,
Oh,
so
nice.
I jumped at that. But
No, that's fair.
I did watch a little of the undercard, and then I went on to the Reddit
Mm.
to see. Um, MMA fans love the slobber knocker.
Mm.
The Forrest Griffin versus Stephen Bonner.
Mm.
Two guys just teeing off on each other. From what I heard, that's what the main was.
They went after each other. And like I see the point you're making, and like there's a touch of that. People want to see violence, but I think it goes back to what you were saying about your brother having his first fight, and you were saying to him, the fight doesn't start until you get tired. And when people are in a war, like they have to really dig deep, and there's something primal in that. Especially as men, we notice that. So it's the
Mm.
combination of the violence and the heart. Like when you see someone achieve anything really difficult that they have to dig deep in, and then you add on the fact that you could get knocked out and hurt bad. It's the combination of the two of them that just draws people to fights like that. Because I mean, like Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier, that they're not just closing their eyes and rocking sock and robots. They're going after each other with a lot of technique and skill.
Mm.
I had what was it? I had Max winning the first two, and then Poirier winning the third and fourth. And the last round was pretty close. Like it was really, it could have been anyone's fight all the way up to like 30 seconds of the last round.
Wow.
But yeah, like I thought it was close, but I think they gave it to the right person. I think overall it's better for the UFC because
Right.
no matter what anyone says about the BMF belt or that it's a Mickey Mouse belt or whatever, I mean it's cool. And it's something else they can use to promote, and it's better for the UFC than Poirier basically taking it and killing the whole
Yeah,
thing. You know what I mean? And like he
definitely.
went out on a great fight, great performance, where it's arguable whether he won or lost. I think it, and then they had him in the ring there, and they were playing highlights of his career and all that, and like it was touching. Like I think to go out on to finish a career like that is better than 99% of people when it comes to combat sports.
Mm.
I think that's a great way to finish his career. He beat a lot of great guys, and my hat goes off to him.
He goes, what did he say here? Hold on. He said basically, I'm gonna do steroids now. I heard it.
Well, fair
He said
enough.
he's gonna get
The
jacked.
same as Cowboy. Cowboy Cerrone did the same thing. He's like, yeah, now I'm gonna get on. Like
Yeah,
fair play.
now. Sure, buddy.
Well, I mean, like he did, and he either one went on for the first time, or two he really upped his dose because he definitely looked different after. But hey man, I think as you get older, provided you've already had your kids, and you get your blood work done, I don't think there's anything wrong with running a bit of testosterone. It's more like some of the other compounds that you take more risk with.
You got to do it under doctor's supervision. From what I understand, there's a lot that could go wrong.
Yeah, I mean in Australia we don't really have that option, but if you get
Really?
yeah, no. I mean, look, I mean, you can get your blood work done, and like the doctor, like, but you can't get it from the doctor. You're going to be getting it from China or wherever the
Oh,
hell
I
it
see.
comes from, and then just getting, checking your blood work and all that. But you just have it a bit better over there as far as that goes. But it's a little bit more taboo here. It's like an A-class drug, so it's compared the same as like heroin and all that sort of shit. If you get caught with that, it's the same type of punishment,
Yo.
which is kind of ridiculous. Like whether people are for or against steroids, it's not anywhere near as deadly as heroin. Like you ain't gonna get strung out on steroids. When people think of like roid rage, they're thinking of Tren. Tren's the one because. Testosterone, if you're taking supplemental testosterone, that's a normal human hormone. Where Tren's
Right.
different. Tren's not a hormone that people
Hold on.
produce. Yeah.
Just leave him on the couch for me. Thank you.
Yeah, Tren was something that was created for cattle, so they could put more
Yo.
yeah, so they could put more muscle on and shred fat. So it's not even, that's the one.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one. When people talk of roid rage, that's actually what they're talking about. It's Tren. But
Sheesh.
yeah. So co-main event, that was a great fight. I'm forgetting old mate's name again. Me and bloody names, but
Polo Costa
uh,
or
the
Kopylov?
Kopylov. He had
Kopylov.
moments, but for the most part, it was Paulo Costa. He just had better
Hmm.
hands and. Like he had some slick shots. He's always had good boxing, and that's pretty much where he funneled it into his strengths, and he
Mm.
made the most of it. So, I mean, Costa's pretty good. He had that good fight with oh fuck me and bloody
Is he?
Robert Whittaker. No, he had that good
Ah.
fight with Whittaker, and that was close back and forth fight. So. He obviously hasn't lost a step. I mean, he's still
Oh,
one of the
nice.
top guys. So that was a good fight. Good to
He's a good
see.
trash talker too.
Good
Apparently,
trash talker. Can sell a
it's
fight.
important these
Has the
days.
looks.
Right.
So he looks the part, and he can fight as well. So it's a
Yeah.
combination of the two.
Definitely.
Um, we'll move from there to Vitor Belfort versus Wanderlei Silva,
Oh
called
wow.
for a boxing fight.
My
Uh,
brother sent me that.
what do you think?
Well, I guess these guys they do whatever they can for money at this point. Their body is not able to like boxing is less hard on. It's harder on the brain because you're just
Mm.
getting punched in the head all the time. But the whole like for guys who probably these guys probably have like sore joints all the
Yes,
time. Like
definitely.
there's a meme going around like a jujitsu guy waking up in the morning. He's like got a full body cast.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I've seen that one.
it's like ah.
We had
So
three-time world boxing champion Lovemore Nadu on the podcast once, and he had a MMA fight after his boxing career, and he said the
mm,
same thing. He was just like the injuries just from training, like he's just like, oh, it's not worth it. So he had the one
ah,
fight and one and done. But he basically said what you're saying. It's just so
yeah,
hard on the body.
I guess they trying to get a payday without just doing what they can. They probably
Yeah,
can't even do the hard MMA training anymore.
yeah.
So just on surface level, I don't see Vanderlei having good boxing. His fight style always was just like blind aggression,
Mm.
and it worked until it didn't.
Yes, I
It
100%
worked
agree.
against a bunch of medium, low, and medium level guys coming up. He just overwhelmed them.
Yeah.
I remember watching him there used to be something called the IVC, International Vale Tudo Championships.
Yeah.
It was in Brazil. This is the one when, if you ever seen the movie The Smashing Machine,
Yes. Yeah.
when Mark Kerr was talking about digging his fingers into the guy's cut.
Yeah.
This was in the IVC. It was real no rules, headbutts, no gloves.
Yeah.
Um, I remember seeing a fight, Wanderlei Silva versus one of Marco Huas's students, this guy named Artur Mariano.
Yeah.
And I used to love that team, both those teams, Shootbox and Marco Huas, because they had like Marco Huas was everything. He was true Valley Tudo,
Mm.
Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu. Shootbox was, I'd say they did more Muay Thai than Jiu Jitsu, but they did do everything also.
Mm.
So in those days, it was a lot of like Vale Tudo versus Jiu Jitsu matches. There's this guy Jose Pele
Mm.
Landy Jones first from Shootbox. He had like an epic rivalry versus Macaco, who is somebody in the UFC's coach now. Oh, Charles de Oliveira.
Mm.
He's Charles de Oliveira's coach. Macaco means monkey. They had an epic rivalry. And Vanderlei was fighting Artur Mariano in the finals of the IVC. He headbutts him.
Mm.
Vanderlei headbutts Mariano. Cuts himself.
Like standing
Yeah,
or on the ground? Yeah,
in the
standing.
clinch. In the clinch.
Yeah.
Cuts his own self. And then continues to headbutt him with he's like hitting him with the bloody cut.
He's just trying to blind him with his blood or something.
I don't
Yeah.
know if he actually has a strategy
Yeah.
at all.
This guy's fucking bananas.
And yeah, I used to root for him
Yeah.
in Pride.
Yeah.
You know, just like the Muay Thai and then the soccer kicks and the blind aggression.
Yeah.
But pure aggression is important, but
Yeah.
you can get sniped.
Yes.
You can, somebody who has really good defense or distancing,
Yeah.
could time you, could withstand the onslaught, wait for an opening.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with the boxing gloves, a lot of his weapons are
Yes.
going to be not able to be used. It's harder to get in between the gloves for the striking.
Yeah.
And Vitor, he's probably, to be honest, back on the heavy doses
Yeah. TRT
of
Vitor's
juice. It's
back.
not the same Vitor that fought Weidman.
Yeah.
He's probably all filled out now. And so's Vanderlei, but
Yeah.
that all else being equal, I think Vitor does have better hands.
Oh yeah.
He always did.
I, I
But
think
to me, it seems like a cash grab, to be honest.
yeah. I think like back in the day when like Vanderlei was in his prime, yeah, he wasn't super technical, but what he did do worked well. But even if you took that version of Vanderlei, it's not going to translate with boxing gloves, because of the reasons you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Just like, because like in both ways, like I think we mentioned about it before with the Paulie Malignaggi, and when he fought Conor McGregor's guy, Artem Lobov. Artem had like a 14 wins and 12 losses, and like, like he was in the UFC, but he had like a 50-50 win-loss, like he wasn't anything special, right? And he fought Paulie, who was a former world champion in boxing, in bare knuckle boxing, and beat him.
Oh shit, he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and yeah, vice versa as well. Like, with that bare knuckle style, which, even with MMA gloves, you could say there's, it's going to work both ways. But that style that Vanderlei has will work fine, but it ain't going to work with boxing gloves on. And they're both, I would say Vanderlei's he'll be well more past it than Vitor. I think Vitor's straight sniping shots. He's just gonna. I'd be surprised, honestly, if Wanderlei gets it out of a round.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I reckon he'll
Wow.
get him out quick.
See, the thing is with boxing, I'm just so jaded with the whole scene. Ever since Jake Paul came in and just made a mockery of the whole thing, now I go back and I think, how many of these matches are actual matches? How many of them are worked?
Look,
You know?
with the whole Jake Paul thing, like I get the hate, but I don't think any of them are work matches. I just think that he's fighting guys that he's bigger than and a lot younger. I think we'll take Woodley for example. Like Woodley wore that punch and fell, face first on his face. Like if he wasn't really knocked out, like that, he deserves an Oscar. Like he really earned that money. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson, he nearly died not long before that fight. He had to go, like he got wheelchaired off the bloody airplane. Like he had no business being in the ring. I can't believe they put that on. The only ones that like the Anderson Silva, that's impressive. I mean, yeah, Anderson was like pushing 50 or whatever by that stage. But I mean, at the same time, Jake Paul had no amateur boxing and was a Disney kid. But they had him in the ring facing off of Usyk and then talking about him versus Anthony Joshua. I think that if any of them fights happen, Jake Paul's not gonna just lose; he's gonna get hurt real bad. So it's kind of be careful what you wish for, because that's a whole different kettle of fish fighting someone like Anthony Joshua. He could get really hurt. So, but hey, that, you know,
It happens.
yeah, that happens, especially if you're fighting someone like that. On that note, the Usyk Dubois too. Did you get a chance to see any of that?
I saw the ending,
Yeah.
and then I saw a video of Usyk talking about the punch. He calls it Ivan.
Mm.
And they're like, "Who's Ivan?" He goes, "Ivan is a guy who lives on a farm and he's really big." Okay.
Yeah.
How'd that fight go? He's the real deal, this Usyk guy. He looks like
He's a
big, fast, and technical.
yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely the real deal. Uh, he's been. I mean, he had a long amateur career, but
Mm.
he's been world champion since his fifth professional fight. Went on to be undisputed at cruiserweight, and now two-time undisputed at heavyweight. Um, I think after this, he's an all-timer for sure. And it
Wow.
really shows, like, as well, because we've just been through an era of massive heavyweights.
Okay.
And I mean, I think Usyk's like 6'4" as well, though. So even him, he would be a big heavyweight compared to the guys in the 70s.
Mm.
But yeah, I guess it shows, like size ain't everything. I guess obviously, Usyk's ability to like read his opponents, but also set traps. Like he'll shoot down and get guys to come up and then pop over the top,
Mm.
and like, yeah, he's just a lot better than any of these guys. I think he's only had like 22 pro fights, but like I
Mm.
said, his fifth one was for a world title. So I think
Mm-hmm.
if he fights again, I want to see Joseph Parker. I don't want to see another Fury fight. They've fought twice already. We don't need a third one. Um, do
Okay.
you know Joseph Parker?
Nah.
Okay, so he's probably, in my opinion, should be next in line. And
Nice.
then if he pulls that, maybe sail off into the sunset. But
Wow. Well, how
um,
old is he? Is he
he's
that old?
my age. He's 38, 39
30
years
something.
old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is getting up there, like in Father Time, as they say, is undefeated. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you haven't had an undefeated heavyweight champion retire since Rocky Marciano. So,
Oh, boy.
yeah, man, I think, yeah, I think he's up there. I'd put him top 10 all times for heavyweights for sure.
Nice.
I thought while I remember, I'll circle back around to Vitor
Mm-hmm.
and see what you think with like TRT Vitor, because TRT Vitor, like he wasn't on the TRT when he fought Chris Weidman. Um,
Yeah.
Physically
Little,
noticeable so as well.
little deflated.
And
Yeah.
the guy that fought Luke Rockhold and Michael Bisping and, cartwheel kicked fucking Luke Rockhold and, all that sort of shit. I think that, I mean, yeah, he was on the gear, but I think that
Mhm.
that version of him is the best middleweight of all time. What do you reckon? How would you think that version of Vitor stacks up
Mhm.
against Anderson?
Okay, so essentially, I mentioned it before. You have these like strategies. Like your hand can only grab or strike, can't do both.
Mm,
So if you boil it down, you have only two, the yin yang. You have the striker and the grappler.
mm,
One guy's going to be better at striking, or if not, you're going to have two strikers fighting each other. Or sometimes you see like two grapplers.
mm.
They're both so evenly matched in the grappling, they just end up
Striking.
striking with each other.
Yeah.
Um, so Anderson and Vitor, I would say, are more on the defensive grappling.
Mm.
Both black belts, but I don't really see either one of them doing takedowns often.
No.
Vitor maybe more so than Anderson, but most of the time they're striking, and if the guy is able to take them down, they use their jiu-jitsu defensively. Vitor, I think he was doing grappling in the beginning more. I remember him going for arm bars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if they fight each other, what I see is Vitor is boxing,
Mm.
Anderson is Muay Thai.
Mm.
So because Muay Thai has more techniques, you have the kicking, the knees, the elbows.
Yeah.
Not that Vitor can't do any of those things, but just if you boil it down to the style, I would say Anderson has more tools.
Mm.
Even if you say Vitor has better boxing, Anderson has more to work with.
Mm.
I'll give him the advantage there. That being said, there's a guy named Ramon Deckers from Europe. I forgot what country. I want to say he's Dutch.
Mm. Yeah, I know who Ramon
And
Dick. Yeah.
he went to Thailand, really went into the culture, and he didn't just like visit and take a fight camp. He like lived there and
Mm.
fought there many fights. He forced the Thais to refocus their training on boxing because he took their kicks. Now, you kick is longer than a punch, so you should be able to, if you wanted to, use your kicks first.
Mm.
So the person has to get past your kicks to punch you. But Deckers was so tough, so hard headed. He would take their kicks, get inside kicking range, and just light up people. He was knocking out legends
Mm.
with just furious haymakers in combination. So give you two scenarios. Number one, Vitor straight blasts Anderson. Anderson does have good head movement though.
Mm. Definitely.
He'd probably be able to, evade some of them.
Mm.
He might even be able to do like what he did against Tony Frickland,
Mm.
where he's moving, and just throws elbows in there because elbows beat punches.
Mm.
The other scenario, I would say Anderson's able to pick Vitor apart from the outside. If I had to put money on it, I would try not to bet with my heart or my feelings because I would go with Anderson,
Mm.
even though they're both enhanced.
Mm.
Anderson looks a little bit more like me, like a lanky, skinny, lanky guy, and he's more traditional Muay Thai rather than Vitor, who's more boxing heavy.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't be mad if Vitor knocked him out because I am a fan of Vitor. All these Brazilian guys have a place in my heart, especially if they're jiu-jitsu
Mm.
guys, because jiu-jitsu is what saved me.
Yeah.
In all my fights that I didn't win, or most of my fights in general, I was the better striker. And so the guys wanted to take me down. Because I never wrestled in high school, I was doing kung fu. I had no takedown defense, like literally no takedown defense. And so jiu-jitsu saved me from being submitted, from being grounded and pounded to to death.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I did get grounded and pounded a bunch, but
But without it, would be worse. That's
yeah,
what you're saying.
and that's why I love
Yeah.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm very grateful to the Gracies for giving us that,
Mm.
and yeah, almost always root for the Jiu-Jitsu guy,
Mm.
even though I'm American. I should root for the wrestler. It's almost like rooting for the underdog
Yeah.
because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, developed by Elio Gracie, a man of very small stature, so that he could
Beat bigger
essentially
guys. Mm.
survive as long as possible until that one little opening
Mm.
where he could capitalize on a mistake or the other guy gets tired.
Mm.
So let's say at $100, I would put maybe 60 to 70 on Anderson,
Yeah.
and then the rest on Vitor.
Yeah.
About
I
you?
mean, like obviously, um, Anderson did beat Vitor, but that wasn't TRT Vitor. The guy, like I said, the guy that did that to Bisbing and was cartwheel kicking bloody rock hold and all that. Like, I don't know how much gear he was on, but it was helping. I mean,
All the gear.
yeah, all the gear. Obviously he super talented and all the rest of it. It's not just. You could take some idiot and give him plenty of gear, and they're still gonna be shit. But
Right.
you took a guy with all of that knowledge and talent and basically put him back into a younger man's body, and it would have been interesting, but yeah. I always kind of rate TRT Vitor. You know what I mean? I think he was an animal.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the goats. Him, who's the other guy?
Ubereem
Ubereem.
with the horse meat. Oh, how did he get so big? Oh, this horse
Yeah.
meat. With the horses on heaps of steroids.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
fair play to him because when he initially come into the UFC and fought Lesnar, like obviously he was on the gear then, but he had to get off of it, and like you could tell the difference. But he was still one of the best guys, like he still
No,
did
yeah.
well, like, and that goes back to like you can't just take steroids but it
Yeah, I
helps.
don't judge anybody, especially in the professional sports. When these guys are making a living,
Mm,
they want to essentially ensure that they have a payday, a lot of money on the line.
mm,
So I don't think they're doing it themselves. I think they're being coached properly to do it properly.
mm,
And the other thing is, I think even Matt Serra said this: you're going into a cage with a man who's trying to kill you, basically.
mm.
You know, and he's on gear,
Yeah,
so why wouldn't you if
yeah,
your life's on the line?
yeah. No, that's fair. Especially back then, testing isn't what it is now.
Hmm.
Uh, did you get to see or hear about the Manny Pacquiao Mario Barrios fight?
Okay, so I saw a clip of them in the park with like a crowd of people around, and they were shadow boxing. I didn't know that was the actual. I thought Manny Pacquiao retired.
He did. He come back yesterday and fought for a world title at 46 years old.
Oh my God, how did he look?
He looked good. He
Wow.
looked good. I mean,
Now,
I
come
would,
on.
I
You
would.
think he's this is an actual match, or is the other
Nah,
guy
yeah,
taking it easy
no,
on him?
no. I think it's.
What do you
Look,
think?
I think Barrios maybe didn't have the best performance. I and I'm not putting him down again. Like he was, even to be a half decent journeyman professional boxer, like it takes a lot of talent, even to just get there, let alone winning a world title. So I don't like it when some people put pro fighters down, especially if they're world champions. But compared to the other title, the other champions, he isn't up to quite that level. So my
I see.
point being is, this was Pacquiao's best chance at being able to come back and
Mm,
get a title. I mean, I only got to see the highlights, but a lot of people feel that Pacquiao was robbed. Um,
damn,
but yeah, like what I did
Manny.
see, Pacquiao looked impressive. He had moments, but obviously he's 46 years old. It kind of reminded me of the last Rocky movie, when he comes back and uh, fights.
Tommy Gunn or
No,
the
Tony
kid?
Otava.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's like way too old, but he does good. But
Okay.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he didn't get hurt, and yeah, it would have been nice that if he won that title. But when they asked him at the end, like, is this it, or are you going to keep fighting? He reckons he's going to keep fighting, which I don't want to see that. I don't. You don't need to see a legend like that, get hurt, because that's all that's going to happen. Someone will end
Mm,
up hurting him, and like, why?
mm.
Like, I mean, you got paid some big money. You should have plenty of money put aside. You shouldn't have to keep fighting at 46 years old when you're making $100 million paydays. Some of the biggest ones. Like enough. But I mean, it was
So,
cool to see, and he's his own
what
man.
does he have? Does he have debt? Why is he
I
fighting?
don't know. I think it has something to do with his family and just everyone having their hands out. But
Oh
I don't
wow.
know, man. Like at the end of the day, it's good to be a good person, but like if you've given out all your money, it's still on you.
Because I know in Thailand, some of these guys are feeding. They're taking care of their family.
Yeah,
That's like their job.
yeah.
Their job is to fight and provide for their family.
That
So.
one fight should have been enough to take care of everyone. Like he made plenty of money, but hey, like I don't know his full story, and he's his own
Mm.
man. But I just don't want to see him get hurt. But he did perform really well, like exceptionally well for a 46-year-old guy. It was very inspirational. So he should be
So
proud.
let me ask you this, a little bit of a deep question there, James. What bothers you about a 46-year-old man getting knocked out?
Mm,
You thinking that he's more likely to get a permanent brain injury than somebody who's, say, like 25?
exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Because the brain is less
Yeah.
hydrated.
Yeah. Exactly. Like
It's like
you're.
fragile.
Yeah. I think that head trauma as you get older um, is only going to be magnified, and at this point he shouldn't have to look. No one's forcing him to fight. Like that's not what I'm saying, but you shouldn't have to be doing that sort of thing. By that age, it should already be done. Your legacy is done. The bank account should be full. But
Mm.
and like you said, when you're nearly 50, if you get a bad knockout compared to a 25-year-old, like it's gonna shorten your life. Like I just don't. Yeah, no one wants to see a
Well,
legend get put out like that.
I see what you're saying. He's a legend, too.
Yeah.
I just I agree that I don't want to see him get hurt, but I also don't want to see anybody else get hurt.
Mm.
Like when you brought up Usyk, I went on Reddit.
Mm.
I looked on the boxing thing to see if I could see clips of the fight,
Mm.
and about halfway down the page, amateur boxer dies
Mm.
at 29, James, after being knocked out and suffering a brain hemorrhage in
Yeah.
Brazil. I'm watching this fight now. It's 33 seconds, okay?
Yeah.
He's clinching. He's holding on. Okay, he looks a little tired. He's fighting a tall, lanky guy. And the tall, lanky guy I knocked out. He got clipped right on the tip of the chin.
Yeah. Sweet
One
spot.
punch. One punch. He died.
Yeah.
Wow, I just watched Lucas Lazzarini die in the ring.
Yeah.
How's that, bro? 29.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. No one wants to
As an
see that.
amateur,
Mm. I
didn't
rem-
get paid a cent.
yeah. It happens.
Nobody
It
got paid.
happened in Adelaide. One of the coaches that ran a gym when I was fighting, I think it was Terry Fox, Foxy's.
What?
When he was younger and when he was competing, he killed someone in the
Yeah, there
ring as
should be
well.
shampoo in there, no? Oh, sorry, James. One second.
That's all right.
What? It's not in the shower? Oh, check right on the counter right here. There's some shampoo, I think. It's sample size. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I was just saying, one of the
Okay, is that it?
coaches, Terry Fox, I'm pretty sure it was him. He killed someone in the ring when he was younger, and then like he obviously went on to train other guys, but it happens. I mean, but it happens in other sports as well. We had I seen recently, because I'm a big motocross and supercross fan, and they had a young phenom. He like everything all considered should have gone on to have a good professional career. Like he was already sponsored by Kawasaki, and he died. You know, it happens in extreme sports. Like. And obviously, fighting, you're trying to hurt the other person. But yeah, I mean, no one
Facts.
wants to see that. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to get rid of that unless you go with the no head contact. But yeah,
Yep.
but
Somebody's got to stick up for these guys.
yeah,
Because when you got a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao still putting his life on the line for a payday.
yeah. But I think a lot of people. I mean, all these guys, they know it. I mean, you would have had the same thing because I had it when I competed in amateur boxing. You had to sign, like you understand the risk of injury and or death, blah blah blah. Um, People know you can not only seriously get hurt, but you can die. But they just love it. They love the sport, They're willing to take that risk, I guess.
Well, I think also we could take into account that from a young age, we're essentially brainwashed through the movies, through the TV, the sports heroes.
Yeah.
And by the time we're looking at that contract, we're not thinking, and how could you realize, like, nobody thinks that's going to happen to them. It's just, oh, yeah, just sign it, know who reads the contract, But it's more like we're trained to worship heroes through the movies and the comic books and the TV. And we see our favorite athletes. Oh, I want to be like him when I grow up. And to say that everybody knows what they're getting themselves into, I don't think that's accurate. I think that it's like what's the word? A contract that people are signing without knowing about the fine print. Really.
I mean,
And there's a reason why you can't drive a car without a seatbelt. You have to wear a helmet on a motorcycle. You have to wait for the crosswalk sign to change to cross the street. The reason is because somebody didn't, or enough people didn't, and got seriously injured or killed,
Yeah, it becomes a
that
thing.
people's like, oh, hold on a second, we got to fix something about this.
But I mean, like,
So let's see, how many more Lucas Lazzarinis have to die? I don't know.
probably
Maybe there's too much money in boxing for them to
probably a
do
lot.
anything about it.
I mean, if you look at where combat sports come from, and like, I mean, even the Romans, they had their version of it. That was way more dangerous as well. A lot more people died in
Oh yeah.
the Colosseum. I mean, it's always been a part of, like, in quotations, humanity. Especially men. Uh, it's just more organized, more eyes now on it. We all have TVs, internet, etc.
Mm.
But I definitely get what you're saying, and like, no one wants to see anyone die, and if we can make it safer, yeah, 100%. Uh, did you wouldn't have seen the Tszyu Sebastian Fundora? So
Boxing?
yeah, Tszyu is an Australian, and his dad, Tszyu, who's
Okay, heard of him.
yeah, Tszyu. Well, you know who he is, but for any listeners, if you're not unsure, he was a Russian who moved to Australia in the 90s and basically fought out of Australia multi-time. We become undisputed world champion. And his son, Tszyu, he's former world champion himself, had a good fight with Sebastian Fundora, where he got cut. Like, he was kind of winning, but he got cut, and he still made a good fight out of it, even though he couldn't see. So in this rematch, I kind of thought, Tim should have him, but Fundora just pieced him up. So I was kind of sad to see that, because an Aussie, and it's not like we have a wealth of international talent as far as Australian boxing goes, but that's how fighting goes.
So, did he get finished?
Yeah, he got finished early as well. He got finished pretty quickly. So, I mean, and Tim, that's 2 knockouts in a row now for Tim. So,
Ah,
it ain't looking too great. Um, yeah, maybe he needs a bit of time off, or I'm not sure. But I mean, hey, at the end of the day, he went on. He become a world champion. He made money. Like a lot of boxers out there would kill to have the career that he's had. So then you'll see people talk shit online, but online, I don't understand that. This is something that confuses me, right? Because the shit people talk online, they wouldn't fucking say it in person. But people just
yeah.
get way too what I kind of think, right, and this is why I don't have such a real high opinion on humanity, is because, in my opinion, being able to sit behind a screen gives people the opportunity to be who they really are, and say the things that they want to say, which they'd be too
Okay.
fucking cowardice to say if they were in person.
Hmm.
But even if you go on Facebook, right, and you flick through and you just click on something that's, you know, nothing and nothing, and people straight away just cannibalize each other on there. People are
Yeah.
nasty, like. But yeah, anyway, I'm going on a tangent, but either way, Tim Tszyu, he went on to become a world champion. He made money, and he's got a younger brother, actually, Nikita Tszyu, who I think could possibly do even better. Big power in his hands. He has a heaps of potential as well. So, but yeah, I thought I'd bring that topic up. I am a big boxing fan, so
Yeah. So I'm scrolling through the Reddit here. He goes, boxing is taking over MMA. I bet you we saw a lot of boxing in the main last night in UFC. Those guys are two very heavy hand, boxing
yeah,
heavy
yeah,
fighters.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't barely any kicks at all.
I mean, Max threw a lot of spinning back kicks,
Okay.
but yeah, I would say his striking is maybe like 75% boxing.
Mm.
And same for, maybe even more so for Poirier, but yeah.
See, I think that you know how they say like they used to have pancration in the Olympics,
Mm.
right? So I think over the hundreds and thousands of years, what happened was it became obvious that boxing and wrestling were the two major techniques that was winning all the fights.
Yeah.
And so they isolated them and they made them two separate sports because some of the fans like the
That's a really
boxing
good
more.
point. I never thought of that.
Yeah, let's look at the fights now. I mean, you have guys that are punching into the clinch. They push the guy up against the cage. They take him down. You had
Mm.
this guy last night in the PFL, Johnny Eblin, American wrestler, and people hate on him because they go, "Oh, he's boring." They said the same thing about GSP at the end of his career because look who he was fighting. He was
Yeah.
the champion, and he's fighting the best of the best of the best.
Yeah. It
He's
completely
not just
shut
going to
them
just
down.
not going to obliterate everybody. So these guys are going to learn how he fights. They're going to train to defend against it,
Yeah.
and he still won.
Yeah.
But there, Johnny Evelyn is very wrestling heavy, and he actually lost last night because he got his back exposed. See, I brought this up. I know I brought this up a couple of episodes ago. How everybody, because they think when they get taken down, they have to immediately stand back up.
Mm.
Otherwise, they're going to lose the decision. So they make these really bad errors, which people I guess used to know, but then forgot because they were getting away with it. Like when you have a guy who's a good wrestler and explosive,
Mm.
they could get away with a lot of not a lot, but they could get away with certain things because they're so explosive, because they're sweaty. They could make things which are technical mistakes, but it's easier with just through their physical attributes to escape.
Mm.
And so they call it scrambling in wrestling, where you're going from one position to another so fast that it doesn't it just looks like a whole bunch of different things are happening at once, which it is. And so they call it scrambling just to kind of lump it all together.
Mm.
But when they scramble and they've come from a wrestling background, they go to the referee's position,
Mm.
which is hands and knees. And when your hands are on the mat, they're not protecting you.
Mm.
And so what you have to do instead is the Gracie get up, also known as the technical stand up, which is when you're on your back and you roll to one side. You're not all the way over on your belly, you're on your side, and you post your arm out and you stand up with your opponent in front of you rather than turning over and having your opponent on your back,
Mm.
which we saw in the original UFCs and the early UFCs, guys doing and getting choked out. Then they started to learn. Then I guess they got complacent, and now guys are still doing it. They're trying to stand up from referee's position,
Mm.
and I just got to look at a guy like Johnny Eblum and say, you know what? Let that be a lesson to the rest of you. Stop standing up from referee's position.
Mm.
Anyway, long story short, um, even though he's a mixed martial artist, if you had to pick striker or grappler, he's a grappler.
Mm.
Um, Now, in America, you have a lot of these wrestlers that make the transition to MMA because they're looking for something to satisfy that competitive spirit. So they learn striking. Now, can you take a guy down off of a kick? If you kick and you're on one leg, you have to reset yourself. Then you have to go from kicking range to grappling range. It's too much of a gap.
Mm.
So, in order to go from, and I'm talking about American wrestling, if in order to go from striking to American wrestling, it's better to use boxing.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
Johnny Eblin and a lot of guys that I would say wrestle boxing
Yeah.
is a style. The other version of that would be the Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah. Because if
Um,
you're close enough to punch, you're close enough to grab as well. If you're kicking someone, you have to shoot from that distance.
Yeah, if you're close enough to punch, you're close enough to do a penetration step.
Mm.
If you can't grab them like
Yeah,
this, you have
fair.
to go. If you're close enough to elbow, I would say you
Yeah,
can clinch.
fair enough. Yeah.
So yeah, I think over the eons and the years, they were like, all right, well, we got these two styles here. Some people like one better than the other. This one obviously is killing people. Let's do wrestling. But if you look, I think it's India
Yeah.
or Africa, the earliest sport ever recorded was wrestling. It's like a painting on a wall somewhere. It's ten
Mm.
thousand years old or something.
True. I didn't know that. I knew about, obviously Greco-Roman wrestling, all that, and thousands of years old, but I didn't know about the Indian one. I wonder if
Yeah,
they
India has a big wrestling.
did they is it do they know what it was called or what name they had for it, or not too sure?
What's the earliest recorded sport in the world? I'm asking Google. The earliest recorded sport is widely considered to be wrestling, with evidence dating as far back as 15,000 years ago
Oh,
through cave paintings in France. Okay.
true.
Cave paintings in France depict wrestlers in various positions, suggesting it was a practice sport even in the Upper Paleolithic era.
Hmm.
Further evidence comes from cave paintings in Mongolia showing a wrestling match with spectators.
Hmm.
It's also mentioned in ancient texts from various cultures, solidifying its place as a foundational sport.
Hmm. Well, if you got a sport that's 15,000 years old, obviously it works.
I've been wrestling since 15,000 years ago.
uh, Yeah, I mean, and dude, like when you get them guys as well, you would have noticed this, that have been wrestling, since they were 5 or 6 years old. They just get this freak strength, and a lot of them as well. They get that bodybuilder kind of look, even though they don't even lift weights.
Hmm.
They're just
Well, they do.
freakishly strong.
They do lift weights too, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of it
This
would
is,
be, but I mean, like, okay, speaking for myself, I knew guys that never lift weights, but they looked like they lifted weights because they
oh
just
wow.
wrestled all the time. So
Oh, they
strong.
didn't have a strength and conditioning program in the school.
Look, I mean, they might have done some kettlebell stuff, but I mean, they did no barbell work or no, you got your balls. What are they called again? Uh, that they're slamming and all that, but not really. No traditional weight training or anything. Mostly just all grappling. But they look like bodybuilders.
Definitely, especially
Obviously,
if you.
some of that's genetics as well. That not everyone's going to look like that. But the freakish strength, though, like when you get a guy that's been wrestling for 20 years, you just can't replicate that without
Hundred
having that
percent.
history. Yeah.
And you can't catch up either because they start so young.
Mm.
Like when you're 5 years old, you're growing into your body
Yeah.
as you're training. It's built in.
Yeah. Your
You can't go
body.
back when you're a teenager and do that.
Yeah.
And you can't go back from when you're 20s to being a teenager wrestling or doing something and having that hormone release
yeah.
as you're building yourself through
Yeah.
this sport.
Yeah, the body's just designed to, it's like a protection mechanism, because the body doesn't know exactly what's going on if you're wrestling. It's just thinking that, oh, I've got to survive all the time, so it's gonna, I would imagine, grow thicker tendons and, like just, that body is battle hardened from such a young age. Like
Hmm.
if you haven't been doing that stuff, like you said, you ain't ever really gonna catch up unless you're some kind of, freak athlete. That being said, George St. Pierre did say that he reckons. I remember a question. I watched this years ago. Someone asked him, "What do you reckon's the best, are etc. to get
Hmm.
someone young into full martial arts?" And he said like
Uh-huh.
calisthenics.
Mm. Right
Yeah,
on.
yeah. He said if you start them young at calisthenics, would be the best way to go.
Hey, I gotta agree with that. when I put together my system of ranking for MMA, the first rank is fitness.
Mm.
If you have somebody who's really strong, um, you could potentially beat somebody who knows a lot but is very weak.
Mm.
So in extremes, I definitely think that physical conditioning is more important than technique.
Mm. And
Um,
and you look at them guys as well that do like the iron cross and all the calisthenics. They look
the gym,
amazing, and like that you would imagine they would be flexible and have a really good understanding of their body and all that
hmm
to be able to do all the stuff they do.
yeah, the gymnasts are
Yeah.
pound for pound the strongest athlete. And there's a saying in the art of war: only once you can master yourself can you master another
Mm.
person. Something like that. Maybe it's the Tao.
But
But
premise is the premise is
yeah,
same. Premise is correct.
if you could lift your own body weight,
Yeah.
then you can manhandle somebody else.
Yeah. Don't expect to be able to lift someone else if you can't lift yourself.
And the calisthenics, I would say, translates well to
Mm.
sport fighting because it's body weight.
Mm.
It's different athletic positions. You got the handstand, the pull-ups. It's like almost
Yeah.
like sports specific.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Makes you injury proof as well,
Yeah.
somewhat.
So we'll jump into the new Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah,
You
finish it.
yeah, you saw the trailer. You liked what you saw.
I tell you, it's hard to make a good video game movie
Mm.
because we're kind of like used to looking at this game.
Mm.
So a movie, especially Mortal Kombat, it's 2D. We're only looking at it just like this, back and forth. So what I like about it is not that it's a more not that it's a Mortal Kombat movie, but I actually like the storyline of Johnny Cage. How when they were like, he goes, there's one scene and he's got the guy, I think it was Jax. He goes, "Wait, what do you mean? You don't even have any powers?" Or so he's like, "You can't even fight." He goes, "No." He goes, "You don't even have any superpowers?" He goes, "No, I'm just really good looking." But and
So
then
he's
the
Paulo
first one
Costa,
was,
but video game version.
yeah, Polo Costa. He can fight though.
Yeah, but he's got no
Um,
superpowers.
he what? His
No
superpowers? Yeah.
superpowers.
Doesn't he have the juice? He had like the
Oh
secret
yeah,
juice.
super juice. The Tren.
The first Mortal Kombat was what? Scorpion based, I
So
think.
all right. So well, I'll go back a little bit. Initially, right, when they were planning to make that game, what they wanted to do is, and they were in talks with it, and that is they wanted to make a Jean-Claude Van Damme Bloodsport video game. So they were in talks to get him in and like digitally screen him basically what they did for the games and like the license. It didn't end up coming through. So they're like, well, fuck it, we're gonna take this idea and make something out of it. So bit by bit, they kind of created the franchise that we have today. Um, a lot of the lore as well it probably has to be credited to John Tobias, because everyone thinks of um, man, bloody names. The main guy when everyone thinks of Mortal Kombat, but it's really
Okay.
John Tobias when it
Boone.
comes to, yeah, Ed Boon. Thank you, Ed Boon.
The reason why I know is because when you said Tobias, I thought Noob Saibot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. Yeah, their names backwards. Exactly. Good point. But John Tobias, he's the one that kind of made more of the lore of the earlier Mortal Kombat. And when you were saying about them not being able to translate video games into live action very well for the most part. What, in my opinion, where they fuck up is a lot of times they stray too far away from the lore of of the games, like the Resident Evil, for example. Like, not only is the story's totally different, but the vibe is different. I think you've got to capture the essence, even more so than the story is the essence and the vibe of the franchise. That's where, and like to go on a bit of a tangent, I think that's where they go wrong with the new games. And that's why, because it doesn't feel the same. The vibe's off. It doesn't feel like Mortal Kombat. But if they can capture the vibe and the feeling of the first few Mortal Kombat games, which I have high hopes on because I did like the last one, and this trailer was dope. And like I said before, like I tend to be skeptical, and I'm like, oh, I'll wait to see a review. Like, I just don't get. I'm a little bit jaded with Hollywood now, but I'm pretty pumped for this, to be honest, brother, and I have a good feeling about it. So,
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
I liked the first one. I think they're going with a bit more of the newer characters. Like, I saw that the chick Sindrax, I think her name is. It's like some of the they did go a little crazy, like with Mortal Kombat 3. They had like 40 bunch of new characters, and like they
trilogy.
Really,
so with the video game, you mean?
Yeah. Remember when it was like they had the guy Cyrax with the grenades. They had the Sindel, chick with the crazy hit, Sindel.
Yeah, she's from the third game. Initially, with the third game, you had like just a standard roster, but then they did. So you had Mortal Kombat 3, then you had Mortal Kombat Gold, which was they brought in Scorpion and that, and then you had Trilogy, which had all the characters that they had up to that point, and you could use Shao Kahn and all that.
Right.
But yeah, like growing up, my earliest memories, I think the first one that I might have played was 2, and that's one that I have a lot of memories of. What about yourself? Do you remember when the first one come out in the Galleria and and what you thought of it and that?
We had 2 stores. One was called Blockbuster Video, and one was called Hollywood Video, back when you used to go rent movies, VHS.
Yeah.
And Hollywood Video was a little closer to my house, but Blockbuster had the better movies. But Hollywood Video had a little room with a couple of arcade games.
Yeah.
And that was where I first saw Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And I'd go there with like $5.
Which would have been a lot of money back then. You would have been able to have a few games of that.
Yeah. You could, I think it was probably like 50 cents to start and then 25 to continue.
Yeah.
So you get a few games. But it was all about the fatality. Like, I just wanted to, forward, down, forward, punch, I think was Sub-Zero's spine ripper.
Yeah.
Then it came out on Super Nintendo and Genesis.
Yeah.
But Super Nintendo didn't have the blood.
Yeah, that's right.
And Genesis, you had to put a code in.
Yeah.
To get the blood. And Genesis, there was one level, I think it was called the Pit.
Yeah.
Where you do the fatality, you uppercut them, and then they fall down into the spikes.
Yeah, I remember Sega does what Nintendo don't. They're the more like edgy teenager version.
Nice.
Yeah, I had the Mega Drive, and I had my friend had Mortal Kombat 2 on Sega, and my other good friend is a couple of years older than me, lived across the road. He had Mortal Kombat 2 on his PC.
Oh,
and
damn.
I used to have a crush on Katana. If I'm thinking back on it, man, I reckon that might have been my first crush. Was a video game version of Katana,
Was she the purple?
No,
Green?
She was the blue one.
The blue,
but
okay.
I really saw the same chick, but just swap colors.
Yeah.
But
you wanted to do what was it? The friendship?
The
babality?
Friendship into babality. Yeah, I remember. Thinking back, I remember having a crush on her. But yeah, I loved Mortal Kombat 2. We used to play it all the time. And then I remember Mortal Kombat 3 when that came out. I bought it. It was like brand new out, and I bought it for $100. And this would have
No
been in
way.
this is Australian dollars, so it would have been maybe like 75 US. But this is in 1996 or whenever
Word.
it was. Might have even been earlier than that. Early 90s, we'll say. Yeah, it probably was like 93, 94. Now I'm thinking back. But anyway, that was a lot of money back then, man. You know, and
Back then,
yeah, yeah,
still for a
yeah.
game.
For
I
a
think I
yeah.
paid last game I paid was like 19.99.
Well, there you go. And this
But
was
the
like
games now
30
they got
years ago.
yeah, but they don't have games. Well, they probably do, but back then you bought the game. That was it. It
That
had
was it.
everything
Yeah,
in the game. Now you buy the entry level of the game, but then you
yeah.
could get the in-game
And then
purchases.
even if you do buy the physical media, it's just like a download code anyway. There's fuck all on the disc. But yeah, I got the Mortal Kombat 3, and yeah, like yeah, I remember showing it off, and I loved that game. Played the bloody the wheels off that one, and I was a big fan of the franchise. I enjoyed the first movie.
Yeah, that was
The
decent.
first movie was good. Second one wasn't the best.
You mean the original first one?
Yeah, yeah, the original
Oh yeah,
first one back in the
oh
'90s
yeah,
with Robin Tszyu and all that. Yeah, that was
nice.
good. Um, but
We love
did
those
you ever see
movies.
the TV show? You would
TV
have,
show.
yeah, you would have probably seen it like late at night. There'd be like a Mortal Kombat
Oh,
TV show. You ever see that?
I'll tell you what I did see. There's two things. One is the WMAC Masters. That was a Saturday morning show, which was like these choreographed martial arts battles,
Mm.
disguised as a almost like a WWE or American Gladiator style tournament. I believe it was called WMAC Masters. That just came to my mind. The other thing is a Mortal Kombat cartoon
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
called, I believe, Scorpion's Revenge.
Oh, that one only come out a few years ago. That's pretty
That
good
was
though.
really good.
Yeah.
Oh man, I like that a lot.
The TV show I'm talking about was like following, because you got Kung Lao, right, and he's the descendant of the great Kung Lao, and it was a story about Kung Lao, the great Kung
Oh,
Lao.
oh really?
Yeah, I reckon if I showed you, probably would have seen some of it because
Hmm.
it used to always be, at least in Australia, used to always be on TV, and it
Hmm.
was I fucking loved that show. It was really good, and like it's the way Mortal Kombat should be, All the blokes are shredded, and all the women are super fucking hot, and everything's over the top, ridiculous, the way Mortal Kombat's supposed to be.
Is it animated?
No, no, it's live action.
Hmm.
I'll pull it up. But
Let me
yeah,
check that out.
I always big fan of that show. Mortal Kombat
Mortal
Conquest.
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat Conquest. Can you see that?
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that looks pretty dope.
Did you play the 3D era games?
No.
Nah, they're already out of the MK by then.
Uh, I
Like on the original
I had like
Xbox
a
and
maybe 10 year you know period where I didn't really play much games at all.
but you were
I
playing
definitely
the
remember.
Halo on the original
Yeah.
Xbox. So the 3D era
Mhm.
games around the same era.
Okay. Nice. Higher budget costs than expected. Oh, it was after WCW Monday Night Nitro. Holy.
You
golden age.
you ever get into the wrestling, the Hogan and all that?
Mm, oh yeah, when I was a little kid, we saw a few pay-per-views. Nothing crazy. I I love watching the promos.
Yeah.
As I'm getting tempting to get into the promotional aspect of fighting,
Mm.
building a brand, building an event, and speaking to other promoters. The one guy that I almost became a partner with, but when he told me he had ideas, I kind of like shied away from it, especially some other factors, which I won't get into. But
Mm.
uh, basically, he told me at this level, at the beginning level of creating an event, the event is built on ticket sales.
Mm.
And he actually cut a deal with Amazon for his local event, which is called ECF, Elite Cage Fighting.
Yeah.
And he's got a good deal because he has mostly amateurs and they sell tickets for 60 to $100 or more, and they get like $5 a ticket.
Mm.
The fighter sells the tickets, gets to keep a little bit, but barely anything. Most of it goes to the event.
Mm.
They all sell out. Plus, he told me that most of the money that he makes on an event is actually from the bar.
Mm.
That being said, he told me that when he got the deal with Amazon, and he's had like a smaller pay-per-view company for previous shows, he said that's just kind of like the icing on the cake or the sprinkles on the cupcake.
Yeah.
The real money or the real value of a promotion is the local ticket sales.
Yeah.
So how do you sell tickets? You have to promote.
Yeah.
So if you follow the story or the history of WWE and stuff, like the pro wrestling, they would go from town to town, promote these matches by challenging the local tough guy,
Mm.
and then having a match. I think in the beginning they're actually real matches, submission wrestling. But eventually they started to see that they would sell more tickets as the heel, so they would, talk trash to the
Okay.
local guy and then
So
like throw the
it
match.
actually started off as a real submission wrestling, and then over time it become what it become because basically they found it more financially viable to make a show out of it more so. Okay.
Yeah, so with Master Lukey's League of Champions, if I'm able to do something like that,
Mm.
go from place to place. Once my book is done, I'll put it all under the book tour.
Yeah.
Now, I showed you my documentary where I go into the gym or the facility wherever it is. I clean
Mm.
so I don't get any more cancer. I clean and have a match or have an event, have a seminar and whatever, a tournament,
Mm.
and go from place to place. So my original idea was to get somewhere on Monday.
Mm.
So I'm driving, or I get there early in the week.
Mm.
I spend the first few days getting the event, going to the different gyms to build the card. So say if I have only 1 week, maybe I have 4 days. I can get to four gyms. If I can get to four gyms, I got a tournament right there, a four-man tournament. Each guy faces one of the other guys
Mm.
once. When you have four men and you do a round robin stuff, or four women, or four people in general,
Mm.
if you have four competitors and you do a round robin style tournament, that's six matches
Mm.
because each person has to face each other once.
Yeah.
All right. So you have fighter A versus fighter B. You have fighter C versus fighter D. That's two matches.
Yeah.
Then you have fighter A versus fighter C. You have fighter B versus fighter D. Then you have fighter B versus fighter C. And then you have fighter A versus fighter D. Six matches.
Yeah.
So that's a half an hour of action,
Yeah.
and there's got to be more than four guys in four gyms. I could at least get eight guys. That's two 4-man tournaments.
Yeah.
Anyway, go, and then the idea for the event is not just mixed martial arts, but I also want to have battle of the bands, healthy chef battle, after party, dance battle. Just bring in multiple genres, but essentially going from place to place, something like the WWE does.
Yeah.
You go from place to place, you promote the event, talking trash on social media, making viral videos, walking into the dojo, issuing a challenge to the master.
Yeah.
Because I have, like a pseudo celebrity status, I could walk into Dustin Poirier's gym,
Mm.
maybe American Top Team or wherever he's at, and go, "Hey, Justin, you're big now, you're juiced up. I'll still fight you." Something like that. No head contact though. You know,
Yeah. No, for sure, man. I mean, I'm sure
something like that. I'm
if you got
45 though. How old's Manny Pacquiao? 46.
46, yeah.
Oh boy, but MMA's harder than boxing.
Yeah. I
I got
mean,
a bigger
so
desk.
how is it gonna work for? So is it like no ground and pound? How does because you can't
Nope.
ground and pound a body, right? Well, you could, but
Oh
it'd be
yeah,
kind of difficult unless you're
yeah,
in full guard or something.
yeah. So uh, the illegal zones is above the collar,
Mm.
so the neck and the head and the spine. So can you ground and pound a body? Absolutely.
Mm.
Um, Anything you do gets points,
Mm.
defense or offense.
Mm.
There's a running meter.
Mm.
So no matter what position you're in, think of like a heart monitor. You're getting points.
Mm.
Now you do something, it goes up depending on what you do. If it's a move like a mount, if you're
Mm.
in the mount, to me that's the finishing position.
Mm.
Just like a rear naked choke, just like a punch. These are moves which I
You get
would
a good
score
jump.
could potentially go up to 100.
Yeah.
It's from 1 to 100.
And then when you hit 100, that's the end, or is that's a round?
So when you get to 100, so say it's a punch, you get 100 points. Now, just keep in mind the score is uh, averaged at the end.
Mm.
So at the end of your match, you're going to get a score from 1 to 100. No matter how many times you got up to 100 during the match, it's just all averaged out. The way that you really score, not only for the moves, but for the power hold.
Mm.
Power hold is the underlying scoring, which does also translate to the grappling.
Mm.
So if you get into a mount position, depending on how strong of a mount it is, maybe it's a little loose, you won't get a full 100 points. It's up to the judge, which is the scorekeeper, which is the fan.
Mm.
Everybody watching has the ability to input their score. Power hold is for time. So you get the mount and you're holding it, you're staying at 100 points
Mm.
potentially. At 30 seconds, because we want to keep the action moving, the timekeeper is going to hit a bell
Mm.
or a buzzer. So you have 15 seconds left.
Mm.
At 45 seconds, we say, okay, you held the position for 45 seconds, whether it's the mount, whether it's the back mount with the rear naked choke, whether there's any position, if it's a submission or a position, could be standing clinch against the cage. It's just an idea to keep the action moving. At 45 seconds, it's a break.
Mm.
We say you held it for that long, you could have finished it.
Mm.
So at 30 seconds, you hear that warning, you can transition to another position
Mm.
and the timer starts over again. And you have another 45 seconds to whatever position. So now you get into something called the force points multipliers, where you get points for the move, but then they get multiplied together.
Mm.
So if you do 3 moves in a row, just to keep the math easy, we'll say 3 100-point moves in a row, and you transitioned from one to the other. So you're getting 100 plus 100 plus 100 which is 300. But then because it's 3 in a row, you're getting a times 3, so it's actually 900. And it's way more complicated than that with the scoring,
Yeah.
with the math, because how long did you hold it for,
Yeah.
and eventually it's kind of a long shot,
But
but
if
it
so,
could be done with motion capture cameras,
yeah.
AI, and an algorithm.
So but you said like everyone could score, right? So
Hmm.
how does that? I mean, how exactly would you go about that if you had multiple people scoring? You know, like
Hmm.
the if there's variance in between different people, like
Yeah. So you have like fan favorites. They're gonna get scored more.
yeah.
Let me see if I could share my screen with you again. I'll show you a little bit here. Mm, device settings. No. Share screen. Alt S. Okay. Alt S.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool. So here's my website, masterlukey.com. And here's a boxing match. At my old gym, I got one of the guys to box with me. We filmed it, and no head contact.
Hmm.
Everything's padded, even though we're not doing elbows. We wore elbow pads, and we wore a style of glove which is not a boxing glove. It's actually a glove from karate,
Hmm.
but it looks like a boxing glove, except that you can make a full fist. If you look at the hand inside a boxing glove, it's not a full fist because of the way the boxing glove's shaped.
Yes. Yeah. That's
And I
right.
think that's why a lot of guys break their hands. They're not
Yes.
able to really tighten their fist up.
And
So these
you
gloves,
can end up getting to a habit of not putting your fist properly because your thumb
mm,
sits like that.
yeah,
I've done it once before, ages and
yep,
ages ago, but yeah, not thinking and then punching like you have a boxing glove on and your thumb's not wrapped around properly, it's sitting out.
exactly, exactly. So, yeah, these gloves are really good. The only thing is that they're made for karate, so I've worn them out pretty simply,
Hmm.
pretty quick. I'm not going to press play, but you can go to masterlukey.com and you scroll down. This is my MVP, which means minimum viable product.
Hmm.
I have a picture of me, and underneath a picture of my sparring partner. Now, what you don't see here, because I already voted, was 2 slide bars. And there's like a circle on one end at 0,
Yeah.
and you take the slide bar with the mouse here. I don't know if you can see that, and you move it across,
Yeah.
and it goes all the way up to 100. But basically, you give each fighter a score.
Hmm.
You watch the match, and in my vision, this is a live. You can embed YouTube into my website.
Hmm.
I can embed it. So you're watching the match live, and once the match is over, you go down and you award each fighter a score from 1 to 100.
Yeah.
And then over here, you could see my so far from all the people who voted, I got an average of 63, and my sparring partner got an average of
Oh,
61.3.
nice
This
and
was a pretty
close.
close match.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a 10-point must system. Obviously, it wasn't super action packed. We didn't get close to 100.
Hmm.
So I think it's a better way to score. It gives you, when you have more ability, for when you have more space in there.
Hmm.
So it's not just 8, 9, or 10, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Most of the time it's 10, 9.
Yeah.
But you could have a score like a 63. You could have a 45. You could have a 90. You could have an
Yeah.
80. It gives you a lot more freedom. And when you have a tournament, check this out. When you have a tournament, you could have one good match and then another match which is not as good. and then the whole tournament gets scored.
Mm.
So when you have a four-man tournament and you have six matches and each guy has three matches, I had one for money. I got $1,000 worth of sponsorship money from a few different sponsors. Each fighter got a corporate sponsor for $250.
Mm.
So we had four guys and $1,000 prize pot. Now, at the end of the tournament, each guy had three matches, and that was their score. Then I took the total score of the entire tournament,
Mm.
which was everybody's score. So now you have the fighter score divided by the tournament score, and that equals a percentage of the prize pot. So the fighters got paid based on their action
Mm.
and their
Okay.
score.
Nice.
Now, what I want to do in the future is, until it becomes a business as it is now, which is like a charity, kind of like a concept, a grassroots movement, I want to make it so that the guys are fighting for charity.
Mm.
So the corporate sponsor has the charity of their choice, or it's just one charity that we choose, like maybe Wounded Warriors, or there's a couple of them, something like that. Could be the corporate sponsor chooses the charity that they want to donate to. They say, all right, I'm allocating $500 to this charity. I'm sponsoring this fighter.
Mm.
Now, this fighter is going to fight. He's going to get a score. He's going to divide that by the tournament score. And then we're going to multiply that percentage by the prize money that that the corporate sponsor has donated. And then we got this fighter fighting for charity.
Mm. That's, sounds
And
good,
it
man.
could be MMA, it could be boxing, could be kickboxing, it could be grappling.
Yeah.
Could be one of these like hybrid tournaments where they have multiple
So if
events. Could
like
be even be a dance battle.
a first event, would you go purely striking just for a first event, or would you like to go the full?
Yeah, I'm an MMA guy. I'd like to do the MMA.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. Nice.
The previous tournaments that I've done was mostly MMA with a little bit of grappling thrown
Yeah.
in there.
Ah, sounds good, man. And you've spoken to a few different gyms and stuff like that. See who might be
Yeah,
interested.
yeah. They I need to get the date more lined up,
Yep.
which I have to get the venue first,
Yeah.
and that's my first step. I just been focusing on, I guess, getting myself set up. So
Yeah.
once I get back from Vegas, I'm gonna be like, I haven't eaten since 3 days ago. I have to
Jeez, that's a
be
long time not to eat, bro. You must.
Yeah, no, I'm taking in calories. It's just when I say eating, I'm not like chewing. I had a soup today, just like a
Okay.
broth soup with some stuff in it, some olive oil, some salt, garlic, apple cider vinegar, cabbage juice,
Yeah.
some nutritional yeast. Yeah, it just kind of fills me up, and I I just have to be empty if I'm gonna if I'm gonna compete
Yeah.
at this stage. It really is life or death, because my body's so fragile.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said, I went all in, so that's what I'm gonna do. And things, I believe, work out as they're meant to.
Yeah.
And so I'm using this Vegas trip to kind of give me a little boost,
Yeah.
because I started fasting yesterday, and today I had soup. I made it to the end of the day, so I'll be able to, now that I'm tired, I'll be able to get into bed, not get any munchies. Tomorrow I'll be 3 days in. I'll be on day three. Plus
Mm.
I'll be training, and then Tuesday I'll leave for Vegas. I'll be 4 days in. I won't get back until Thursday,
Mm.
and then Friday I have a gym that I can go to. I'll be
Mm.
nice and empty, be able to roll with the guys,
Mm.
and hopefully not get injured. Knock on wood.
So yeah, I thought I'd ask you more about your Vegas trip, and so you going
Mhm.
to get like a CTE scan?
Let's see. The Cleveland Clinic is the one that's doing the long-term study.
Yeah,
I was recommended by Rose Gracie, who I found through the Concussion Legacy Foundation,
mm.
which was formed by Chris Nowinski,
Oh yeah,
who's an ex-WWE fighter.
yeah,
Chris Nowinski doesn't have an office per se. I was going to go visit him on a trip to Boston, but I called first, thankfully in advance, found out that they don't really see patients. It's more of a foundation, and
yeah,
they do things like on the back end of research or something.
yeah,
But they did recommend me to Rose Gracie, who's got a similar uh, charity,
yep,
and she got me into this program at the Cleveland Clinic because I did already get my brain tested with an MRI and came back fine. They said I have a perfectly healthy brain.
yeah,
And I was thinking to myself, why do I have all these symptoms? I kind of connected with Rose Gracie. She said that they don't do the right tests or there's more tests.
yeah,
So Cleveland Clinic, they're doing a long-term 10 plus year study. I'm going for the initial consultation. Now my symptoms are mild, so Rose actually had to put in a word for me.
mm.
Otherwise, there's people that are trying to get in
Yeah,
because they have major depression, but they're not as bad as somebody like say Gary Goodrich who can't even
yeah,
remember yesterday.
yeah,
And some guys are worse than that. But Rose got me in, and basically, I'm going for my initial baseline establishment.
yeah,
They're going to do the MRI, they're going to take blood, and they're going to do kind of like neurological testing
yeah,
with reaction time or something, maybe. I'm not sure what that actually is. And then also, I'm going to have a consultation with the head doctor.
yeah. Oh well, that's
They're
awesome, man.
flying me in uh, Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah,
They want me there the night before, and the next morning I go to the clinic, and I ask them to fly me out the next morning so I could at least get like one night in
yeah,
Vegas. They're putting me up in the Circa, I think it's called, which is a 21 and over resort hotel.
yeah. Nice.
Everybody in there is over 21. But because I am getting there so late, I don't know that I'll be able to go to the pool, which is what apparently they're known for. They have like a really cool pool with like a big screen on it.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna see if I can smooth talk them into giving me a pass for the next day because I have to basically check out right away in the morning and go to the clinic.
yeah,
So I'm gonna ask them. I'm only here one night, but I wanted to go to the thing. Is there a pass? Maybe I don't have to stay the extra night, but maybe there's a pass I can get for the day. So after the clinic, I can come back
mm.
and hang out, before I go to the airport.
Yeah. Oh well,
I'll try to document as much as I can if they let me film.
yeah. I'm definitely interested, and I'm glad that this is happening because this is something that you're definitely keen on doing. So
Yeah,
get it all.
I'm gonna go back in, I believe, either 6 months or a year. It's
Yeah.
like a follow up
Yep.
for the first. I think it's 6 months, 1 year, and then every other year
Yeah.
moving forward. Um, so not for this one, it's a little last minute, but for the next one, hopefully, I'll have my book done by then,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do what I can to make this part of my tour, if not the beginning of the tour, maybe the end of the tour
Mm.
or something where maybe they fly me out there and then I take my time coming back
Mm.
through cities or something. I also have my teacher, my natural healing teacher, Dr. Jubb. He's out in Nevada, so
Yeah.
he offered to do some more whole brain functioning training with me. He wants me to help him write his books, stuff like that. So this trip, I'm just going to be there and back. and then the next one I'll look to stick, make more of an event out of it. Hey yo, my delivery man just came.
Oh, true. Hey, mate. How are you?
He says, "Hey mate, how are you?"
Yeah, good. Did you want to touch on one more topic and then we'll wrap it up?
Sure. What we got?
So we'll just
One more topic. Come on.
about the social media people, famous social media influencers making more money than celebrities.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. So you know how they got algorithms, and so this guy, it was an ad, but I wanted you to see it because
yeah,
that's kind of like what we're getting into with the
yeah, yeah.
podcast.
I don't know why,
So
but for some reason, yeah, the link wouldn't come through. But
maybe because it was an ad,
maybe.
but basically he would show two pictures side by side, and like one was um, a famous actor.
Yeah.
It goes, oh, he made 10 million in in 2024,
Mm,
and then like the next picture is Mr. Beast,
mm,
and he goes, Mr. Beast made 100 million in 2024.
yeah.
And then it was like an actress, she made such and such million, and then it's like OnlyFans model makes 10 million,
Yeah.
and then one was like Taylor Swift, she sings for 3 hours a night, sings her heart out, makes a couple mil,
Yeah.
and then like the next picture is like Sophie Rain, who's an OnlyFans model, she made the same amount selling feet pics or
Yeah.
something.
That
But
OnlyFans though, that I think for a lot of women that's a hit and miss though, man. Like I think very few women actually make decent money out of it, and then
Mhm.
they got that stuff up on the internet for life. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So you're taking
that's
a
why I wear a
gamble.
mask on my OnlyFans. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Look, I mean, especially in this day and age, you can be famous and not have a lot of money. Like, um, more so than like decades past, for sure. You know, I would definitely agree with that.
and then so this guy, the ad that I was looking at, he actually does. He's not even a creator, but I believe, sells the the programs
Yeah,
that like online coaches and online influencers, they have like these paid memberships or whatever. So he sells them and gets a cut, and he's making 5 figures a month or whatever.
yeah,
But it was just interesting, I think figured it would be something we'd eventually look into as far as turning our podcast into something monetizable.
yeah. I mean, I've always got ideas.
Nice.
And yeah, no, definitely. I mean, yeah,
But I
like,
like where your head is at with the getting the fans involved, the
yeah,
giveaways and stuff like that. The
yeah,
question, that's awesome.
yeah. I mean, will I ever really make much money out of this? I don't know. I mean, it was one of them things where I have an idea and then I've got to see it through. Uh, but yeah, like when I do anything, I try to do it to the best of my ability, and if I do anything, I want to do it well. And it'd be good to create a bit of a community, like get some people involved and just have fun with it. But I've definitely got some ideas that are like outside of the podcast or podcast adjacent that could
Nice.
could be some things, and like I said, I definitely want to do what I can to help you see through your goals,
I
brother.
appreciate it, bro.
No, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and like always, man, I really appreciate your time, brother. Is there anything else you want to touch on, or we'll call this one an episode?
Yeah, let's call it. Give me a little heads up again for the for next week's podcast.
Yeah, man.
Questions or anything you want me
Sounds
to look
good.
into,
Sounds
like with
good,
the
brother.
Mortal Kombat and all that. That was dope.
Yeah, thanks.
All
And
right, lads.
for next time, lads, make sure you tune in. Make sure you leave a comment. we're going to do a giveaway, and we'll pick out the best one. So, like always, Master Lukey, and
Okay, James.
I'll see you next time.
All right, lads. Have a great week.
Take
See ya.
care. See ya.